to start with some sun salutations, starting in a standing position, feet underneath your hips, shoulders rolled down and back. Kind of have a tight core here as much as you can. You're lifting through the chest. Take a nice deep inhale, arms reaching overhead. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release left arm down. Open up the right side, side bend, pressing the shoulder away from your ear. Exhale. Inhale, lift to standing. Exhale, opposite way. Inhale, lift to standing. Exhale, release, forward fold, slight bend in those knees, crown of your head to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, look ahead, lengthen from that low back, from that chest. From there, release the head to roll all the way up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms up overhead, top, nice deep inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, flex the hips, release the head down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Lift, lengthen, look ahead. You're going to bend the knees, plant the hands, step back. High plank, and then push back to your downward facing dog. So you're really getting full shoulder flexion. Let that head go. And you're going to pedal those feet. So really try to get one heel down as the opposite knee bends, coming up onto those toes. Getting that full ankle dorsiflexion to plantar flexion as you press through those shoulders. Wrap those triceps together. Start to squeeze the scapula. From here, you're going to take a nice deep inhale. As you step forward, exhale to release. Forward fold all the way down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release, forward fold again. From there, slight bend in those knees. Roll it up, vertebrae, arms reach up overhead at the top. Inhale. Exhale, this time right arm down, open up that left side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left arm down, open up the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release, forward fold all the way down. Plant those hands, step back, high plank. This time we're adding a chaturanga. So from here, you let the elbows come down to your side body. Shift forward 2 inches, let those hips go down. Roll the shoulders, externally rotate, lift, lengthen. From here, tuck the toes. You're going to tuck the pelvis under, so posterior tilt to engage those abs. Lift the knees off the ground, press back through those shoulders. Heels press back, downward facing dog. From here, again, walk it out right to left. You're going to pedal those feet. Again, wrapping those triceps, pressing back through those shoulders, engaging your shoulder blades and your scapula. From here, step it back forward, exhale to release, forward fold. This time, inhale halfway. Exhale, take those knees down, hips down. This is your chair Utkatasana pose. Feel the energy build up from the ground, lifting through your core, through those abs. As you sink those hips back, shoulders reach up. Nice deep inhale. Take it all the way to a standing. Exhale, open those shoulders, open those arms, cactus. Squeeze the rhomboid, squeeze the scapula. Inhale, lift. Last sun sal, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Plant those hands, bend the knees, take it back, high plank. Come through your chaturanga dandasana to your upward facing dog. Roll the shoulders down and back, lift through that anterior chain. Open. Tuck the toes, tuck the core, send it back. Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. Pedal those feet again, pressing through those full shoulders. From here, take it all the way up top of your mat. Step on forward, nice deep inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Look ahead, lengthen through that low back. Exhale, release. From here, you're going to bend those knees, sink back, hold your chair. You're going to add a little torso rotation. Left arm's going to come down. Squeeze into that left scapula. Do not let that shoulder press up. Away from your ear, open, open, open. Rotate back to center. Inhale. Exhale, opposite way. Right arm down, torso rotate. Hips stay squared towards the front. We're really isolating at that upper back. Back to center. One more each way. Rotate left arm down and back. Now I want you to notice your feet. Try to not squeeze at the toes. Ground through all 4 corners of your feet. Right arm to open. Inhale to lift. Exhale, release. Good. And shake it out. And I want you to start coming up onto your toes. Pressing those knees forward. Pressing those ankles forward. Not sinking into either way. So I'm not shifting my weight right or left. I'm taking everything straight forward. Getting that full plantar flexion as I press through that ankle. Now I want you to start to add the arms. You're going to go opposite arm, then leg. From here, you see I'm not letting my stomach sway out. I'm not hyperextending at my low back. I'm engaging my abs, but I'm still trying to get that full shoulder flexion, getting mobility all the way through, and extension back. So you can go past your hips, for that extension of your shoulder as I'm still coming up, plantar flexing with my ankles. So you can do this a few times and shake it out. We're going to take it all the way down. So now coming down to a seated position, you're going to relax all the way onto your backs. Take your knees into chest, a little rock it out right to left. Circle it. Come back to that breath. So whatever you're doing this warm-up for, this is a good time to set that intention. Start to visualize where you are, where you will be, what you'll be doing, what you'll be accomplishing. Positive self-talk here. As you're doing that, drive those feet up towards the ceiling, slight bend in those knees. You can grab your ankles, your calves, your feet. This is called your happy baby pose. You're literally just rocking right to left. Start to engage those abs so you don't fall all the way over onto one side. Really let those hamstrings and glutes kind of open up a little bit. From here, you're going to plant those feet. You want your feet and your knees to be parallel. You want your ankles as close to your glutes as you can have them. We're having a bridge pose here. You've probably heard of them, maybe as a hip thruster or something like that. So you're going to plant your hands by your side. In this first one, you're just going to plant your feet into the ground, and you're going to lift your hips, extend at the hips, and squeeze the glutes to lift all the way up. I want you to roll the shoulders down the back. Think there's a string pulling from your chest up towards the ceiling. Hold 1002, release all the way down. Do that one more time. Lift, squeeze those glutes at the top, full hip extension. Lift the chest, and then release down. You're going to take your knees into chest and your shoulders off the ground. Plant those feet, release back. Last one here, lift those hips, squeeze 1002 at the top. Release that low back down, back to the ground, and take those shoulders off. From here, we're going to add a little bit of spinal mobility. So coming back to your bridge pose, you're going to come to an anterior tilt of your pelvis. Anterior means forward, it's the front side of your body, so you're going to shift your pelvis forward. You will have space between your low back and the mat. If you can put your hand under your back and your mat, that's beautiful. That means you're in an anterior tilt. So this is your start position. This is your full mobility forward in your sagittal plane. So you have your anterior tilt. From here, you're going to go backwards. You're going to start to tuck your pelvis under. You're going to start to rotate all the way through until you're in that posterior pelvic tilt. So that means now there's no space between your back and the ground. Your abs are starting to engage. From here, keep pressing that energy back and up towards your spine. As you peel your sacrum off of the ground, keep tucking that pelvis under. And now you're going to start to peel your low back off of the ground. Your hips will start to lift towards the ceiling. I still want you to engage those abs, contract through those abs, keep that posterior pelvic tilt, or that pelvic tuck. So now I'm lifting my hips towards the ceiling even more. I'm peeling off vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae until I'm all the way up at the top. Fully lifted, full hip extension, full bridge pose. From here, I'm starting at my C-spine, my cervical vertebrae at the top of my neck. So I'm going to start to take one by one and reattach each vertebrae. As you see, I'm not letting my hips drop. I'm still engaging my abs. I'm still in that posterior pelvic tilt. There's energy wrapping through my legs, through my core as I really reattach nice and controlled, one vertebrae at a time. Now you see I'm still in my posterior tilt. My low back will attach before my hips come down. This is really hard. Think low back, low back, low back. Find that tuck, 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 tuck. My low back is here. Now my hips come down. I'm still in my tuck. I release my abs to let my pelvis come back forward to that anterior tilt where now I have space between my back and my ground. I don't know if I said that right. My back and mat. There we go. So we're going to do that 2 more times through. You have that anterior tilt. We're going to take it a little bit faster this time. So you find that tuck. You rotate under. You engage those abs. Contract through that core. And then take those hips up. One by one, peel off each vertebrae. I'm still in that tucked position of my hips and my pelvis. I'm engaging my glutes. Contracting through my posterior chain and my anterior chain. As I lift one by one at the top, I think there's a string pulling me up for that last little lift. And then from there, I start at my C-spine again and release one by one. But not really release, I'm just reattaching. So everything stays controlled. I keep that fluid mobility, but I'm taking it nice and slow. My low back is going to attach first and still in that pelvic tuck. And as my low back attaches, my hips come down, my glutes come, and then I release forward to that anterior tilt. Really release, release, release all the way forward. You can do that one more time through. So tuck that pelvis, engage those abs, and then lift vertebrae by vertebrae, squeezing my glutes and contracting through my abs, and I'm lifting to the top. And then one by one I reattach. So as you get comfortable with this movement, you can take it a little bit faster, be a little bit more dynamic, a little more fluid, but make sure that you maintain the control all the way through. Take those knees into chest, rock and roll it out. There's one more variation of that where you can add the arms. I will take you through it now. But you want to make sure you're still engaging everything. You don't release when you add the arms here. So same movement of the pelvis. I start with my anterior tilt. I tuck under, my low back attaches, I engage my abs, and then I start to lift. When I start to lift, my hands will come in alignment with where my hips are. So I'm lifting and lifting, my vertebrae is peeling off, my arms are lifting as well. I'm almost to the top. When I'm really at that full hip extension, I'll get full shoulder flexion as well with my arms all the way up overhead. From there, I'm going to initiate with my arms. I'm coming up. As my arms come up, I'm starting to sink through my C-spine. And now my arms are fully lifted towards the ceiling, and now I'm reattaching vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Now I'm at my T-spine here. My arms are starting to come forward. I'm still tucking my pelvis. I'm still reattaching one by one. And now I'm at my lumbar spine. My low back is attaching. My hips are attaching. And now I'm releasing all the way forward. Arms back down by my sides. Tuck that back in. Rock and roll it out. Take a nice deep inhale, knees into chest, and we're going to rock it all the way up to a seated. Good, so nice deep inhale to lift, roll the shoulders down and back like there's a string pulling from your chest. Squeeze those scapulas, squeeze the rhomboids, and then exhale, release all the way through like you're being punched through that front side. 2 more, inhale, lift, roll the shoulders down and back. Exhale, release all the way through. Last one, nice deep inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, release. All right, so that was your first little warm-up.